All right, here we go. Let's take it from the top then. Well. Darian is alive. That's right, motherfuckers. I have survived, and I have made my dramatic return to the Padded Room Podcast. Welcome, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you for bearing with me last week. Thank you to my son, Deacon, for being kind enough to hop on the mic and record a quick little something for you. Didn't want you to think that I had given up, because I had not, but as bad as my voice sounds right now, I didn't have a voice last week. There was nothing I could do, you know? I don't know. It's not fucking COVID, all right? I know what you're thinking. It's not. I took a COVID test. No, it's not COVID. And even if it was, who gives a shit? Are we done? We're done with COVID, I think. I don't think anybody cares anymore, so let's just forget the whole fucking thing. I've been told that this voice actually sounds sexier. What do you think? Here, let's try. Hello, welcome to Slow Jams. This next one goes out to Michelle. Is that doing anything for you? No, not really. Just sounds like I smoke a lot of cigarettes, right? It's terrible, man. Basically, it was just bronchitis. My son had it first. Then he gave it to my mom. My mom had to go to the hospital. I had to go take care of my mom. So then, of course, I got it. I brought it home. I've had it for a little over a week now. I'm getting better, though. I got antibiotics. I'm doing fine. By the way, a little fun fact they don't tell you about antibiotics. They give you a rare breed of fart. And it is not your usual flora and fauna, if you understand what I'm saying. It's bad. It's got like a, almost like a greasy, hot garbage bouquet to it. It's disgusting, man. And I crop dusted the Safeway the other day. So good. Well done, Darian. Well done. You did it. You've ruined aisle 6, you son of a bitch. I'm sorry. I'm sick. I'm a sick man. But I am getting better. Thank you, inmates, very much for joining me and bearing with me last week. I'm gonna get right back into the regular show. I've advised Buddy to stay away this week for sure, possibly next week. Daphne's had it. I think my wife is up next. So I kind of hope she gets it. I want her to experience, not because I'm mad at her or anything. I just want her to feel what this feels like. It's pretty fucking miserable, dude. Anyway, I got a regular horror show to get into. Thank you again for bearing with me last week. Yeah, let's roll right through. I got listener mail. I got horror news. I got all that shit. You're going to love it. You missed it. I know you did. I missed you guys. I'll be honest with you. I came in here last Tuesday night to record, and I thought I'm going to do it anyway. I'm gonna put it down by myself, even though I felt like shit. I had a fever and stuff, and I started recording, and I very quickly realized that I sounded like hot garbage. Not that I don't sound that way now, but on the hot garbage scale, I was at like a 15 last week. Now I like to think I'm at like a I don't know, maybe a 4 or 5. Hopefully by next week I'm off the garbage meter, but I don't know. You'll have to chime in and let me know. Let me know what I need to do. Okay, anyway, here we go. Listener mail, horror news, all the fun stuff coming at you. Let's start it off with some horror news.
Horror news.
Yeah, buddy. I wrote all these news stories down a week ago, so you may have already heard about some of them. What do we got here? Abigail will go directly to Peacock later this month. I heard good things about Abigail. It's a vampire Dracula situation. Hope I didn't just spoil that for you. I might have. I apologize if I did. But I heard it's a good show either way. I'm excited. I have Peacock. If anybody needs my Peacock password, hit me up. Unsolved Mysteries Volume 4 will debut July 31st on Netflix. I don't know, man. I kind of feel like the bloom is off the rose with the Unsolved Mysteries. It's still scary. I mean, it's not, though. The thing about Unsolved Mysteries, man, is that they made every little crime absolutely terrifying when we were 8 years old, right? It was Robert Stack. It was that fucking, that intro where the makes you feel like the tax evader is standing outside your bedroom window at night. I don't know. He's probably a decent dude. He just misfiled something, but now I'm terrified of him. I didn't watch any of the previous Unsolved Mysteries. They're on Netflix. I don't think it's going to be the same without Robert Stack, but if you're into it, by all means, check it out. What else we got here? The Boat from Jaws is getting the full Lego treatment, and it's getting an August release. So I took a sneak peek at it. It's pretty good. It's pretty good sized. Okay. And you get the little Lego men for the three guys, Hopper and the other two. I'm terrible with names. I'm sorry. Roy Scheider and the other guy, the Indianapolis guy. And there's a shark that you build with it also. So there's that. There's different mods you can build. You can build the shark eating the boat if you want, or you can just build the boat and the shark outside the boat. I don't know. I didn't see the price tag. I don't know if it's been released. Dude, fucking Lego. Okay, first off, what are we doing with Legos? Well, I don't understand it. When I was a kid, and I don't mean to be old man Darian here, you bought Legos, you basically bought yourself a handful, and you had to figure it out. You build something. Another wall, great. You got a Lego wall. These days, you're building the goddamn Notre Dame Cathedral, and it takes $5,000 in 3 months out of your life. But more to the point, my friends, adults, full-grown, college-educated adults are like the main connoisseurs of Legos. Now, I get it. And allow me to wax nostalgic here for a few moments, if I could. I think to some degree, we are all trying to recapture our youth. That's like part of the bane of growing old, is that you are going to have a midlife crisis, and you're going to want to bang a cheerleader, and possibly buy a muscle car and divorce your wife. Now, most of us at some point decide to beat off and then take a nap and then just go back to life as usual, as we should. But the nostalgia of it is where Lego is cashing the checks. And that's the reason why Legos have to be locked up at the Walmart, because like people my age and maybe Gen Z, I don't know, Gen X. I'm Gen X. Who came before? I don't know. 30s to, I don't know, late 20s to early 40s, I'd say. That's your demographic for Legos. Now, the Funko Pop thing, I understand, because those things hold their value, and apparently you can sell them on eBay at a later time and make some money. Legos, as soon as you pop the plastic on those things, they're worthless, number one. Number two, apparently the big sell to them is building these big, movie sets and cathedrals and space shuttles and things like that. So, as adults, do we not have anything better to do with our time? I'm just wondering, because I don't get it, man. If I had 15 minutes, I'm either going to take a nap, beat off, or make myself a sandwich, or, God forbid, I get to play my own PS5 that I bought with my own hard-earned money 5 years ago? I don't know. I'd have to wrestle my kids first, but that's old man Darian waxing nostalgic there. I just don't get the Lego thing, dude. You know? I buy Deacon Legos, he builds them, he puts them on a shelf, and there they sit. Until one of his friends comes over and hits it with a wiffle ball bat, and it shatters into 50,000 pieces. I don't understand the appeal. That's just me. All right, anyway. What else do we have here? A director's cut of Return of the Living Dead 3 has recently been discovered. What, you ask, with bated breath, could said director's cut contain that we haven't already seen from Return of the Living Dead 3? I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know that I care. I liked Return of the Living Dead 3 when I saw it the first time. After that, it seems like a Bon Jovi music video with one randomly placed zombie. Is she hot? No. She's sticking shards of glass through her nipples. Explain to me how that's attractive. And we have all kind. Well, don't get me started on the ethnic stereotypes that get played up in that movie, or the. You know what? I think we did an episode on it. Go listen to it. You're probably going to hate me afterward, but that's fine. That's a love-hate relationship for me with Return of the Living Dead. You cannot deny that the first Return of the Living Dead movie was absolutely one of, if not the best zombie movies you've ever seen. Top 5, for sure. I'm not going to fight you on that. But as a franchise, dude, after the first one, that is probably one of the sharpest drop-offs in franchise quality that you can find. Part 2 was let's be honest, it's a children's movie featuring zombies that do wacky hijinks. Part 3 was a Bon Jovi music video with some weird BDSM zombie action and some angry Mexicans. Part 4, a sci-fi original, and there's Gatling guns involved and weirdly out of place people with Eastern European accents. Part 5, rave to the grave. I can't even tell you anything about it. All right, what else we got here? Lastly, Russell Crowe's The Exorcism. It's VOD and digital. It's probably actually already out because I wrote that last week. It's probably out on video on demand and digital. You could probably rent it on Amazon Prime if you're interested. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't mad at the Pope's Exorcist. The ending was a little wacky with all the CGI and stuff, but all in all, I wasn't mad at it. So maybe this one's going to be cool too. That's all I got on the horror news. How about some listener mail, you maniacs?
Listener mail.
Yes, sir. I got emails and voicemails, all kinds of fun stuff happening here. Let's start things off with an email all the way from Sydney, Australia. Here comes the dummy of horror. It's team. No subject line this time. What's up, guys? Hope you're well this week. I was not. And this is from last week, by the way. I was not well last week, Tim. I don't know if you heard, but having a little bit of a problem over here in the padded room. I'm running late this week, so I'll make it quick. Meat Hook. This one's hard. I love so many subtitled films that I can change almost daily, but my number 1 will always be the same. Number 3, Gunjiam, Haunted Asylum. That is a good one. So here's the thing. Found footage ghost movies. They're a dime a dozen, all right? You can just go to Tubi or Amazon Prime. You can find one. It's going to look like shit. You're going to be 100% not interested inside the first 14 minutes. But if you're willing to sift through the dumb shit, the guys in their own basement with a camcorder, if you're willing to, comb through that, there will be a good one periodically. As far as Like within that specific subgenre, I think you're going to go Paranormal Activity and then Gunjiam Asylum. It's very good. I think we did a whole episode on it. Number 2, The Sadness, of course. Number 1, Train to Busan. That is a motherfucker, Tim. And Train to Busan. Why do you do it to me? I love it. I do. It's a great movie. Great zombies. It sits on the same shelf as Ghostbusters Afterlife. You know? Great movie. Do I need a good cry? Is that what I need? No, I don't need a good cry. Why would I watch that again? God damn it, Tim, we're men. We fight our feelings down with violence and hard alcohol. What are you doing over there? Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Don't make me laugh. Then I'll start coughing. Terradome. Dude, it's Chucky. I've been watching the Child's Play franchise lately, and Chucky easily takes this one out. Norman won't see him coming. Oh, I also got a chance to see In a Violent Nature. I fucking loved it. Kill of the Year in this film. It's not for everyone, but I really dug it. Check it out. Hope you all had a happy 4th of July. Much love, you guys. Team. 4th of July, dude. You want to know what I did on the 4th of July? I had to fix my motherfucking sprinkler line. And let me tell you something. I don't know if you guys are homeowners or not. It's days like that I miss living in an apartment, you know? Because if something breaks in your apartment, you pick up the phone, you call the maintenance guy, and he comes and fix it, and you go back to beating off and taking a nap. If something breaks at your house that you own, there goes your entire fucking weekend, and possibly your paycheck. Let me explain to you what happened with the goddamn sprinkler line. Not that anybody tuned in to listen to me complain about my sprinklers, but should you find yourself with a leak in the sprinkler line and you can't figure out where it's coming from, I can tell you right now where it's coming from. It's coming from underneath your driveway. Yeah. And dude, the fucking, oh God. Okay, I'm going to give you the abridged version of this saga, okay? One morning I go out there and we have what's called a grass pimple. Are you familiar with this? It's actually kind of fun, but disgusting at the same time. Basically, water bubbles up underneath the sod in your front lawn, creating a giant pimple, is what it is. And it's kind of fun for the kids because they can go and run and jump off it and stuff. It's like there's somebody put a water bed underneath your fucking front lawn, is what happened. So you go out there and you scratch your head and you Google it and you wonder what the shit is going on. And eventually you come to the terms with the fact that you've got a break in your sprinkler line. But that's neither here nor there because that's not going to change the fact that you have a giant mound in the front of your house that is sloshing around like a pregnant woman's belly. So what do? You go get yourself a pitchfork and you do what any man would do. You stab the fucking shit out of the grass pimple. And water goes everywhere, and the kids have a good time. And that's all well and good for about 48 hours until the sprinklers hit their next cycle. And then you go outside and you realize you've got about 8 or 10 new sprinklers because there is water shooting out of all the holes in the grass pimple that you popped. Okay? So then so clearly now it's time to find the break in the sprinkler line. Now, if it was like a regular break in a regular sprinkler line, you could find it quite easily. You would just go to the spot where any of the water was coming out, dig up that area, and be like, oh yeah, turn the sprinklers on. Oh yeah, there's water coming out right there. Just replace that section of pipe and you're done. Okay, that's great, except because this isn't coming from a specific section of pipe, you now have to dig up vast trenches in your yard to find, because there's just water coming along the pipe now. Okay, I've talked enough about sprinklers. It's a giant pain in the cock, Tim, is what I'm telling you. Should you find yourself in that situation, hit me up. I'm not going to help you fix it because you live in fucking Australia, but if you need to Zoom me or Skype me, I can walk you through the process. I'm going to tell you right now, if you have 6 guys, that's probably the best way to go. And access to like a like a backhoe or something like that. All right, enough about me and my 4th of July. That was a horror story in and of itself. I didn't see Firework 1 on 4th of July, Tim. That's what I'm telling you. What I did see was a fucking sunburn and a whole lot of busted-ass PVC pipe. That's what I got. Okay, enough about that. I've got some, voicemails here, I think. Let's see who's up first. Okay, time traveling from last week. It's our main man in Alabama. Here comes Alan.
Padroom, what's up?
What's up, Alan?
Everybody's doing well.
I'm alive.
So let's see, talking about what you watched or whatever. I watched, of course, Return of the Living Dead Part 2.
Okay.
Or not Part 2, just Return of the Living Dead.
That's the best one.
Because, July 3rd and whatnot. Then
Sure.
I watched Prom Night 2. I'm not sure if I've ever seen that. I know I've seen 3 more.
Okay.
Because I get them 2 mixed up.
Sure.
More.
Oh, hold on, Alan. God damn it.
Padroom, what's up?
All right, we'll take it from the top.
Everybody's doing well. So let's see, talking about what you watched or whatever.
Yeah.
I watched.
What are you looking at?
Return of the Living Dead Part 2.
Okay.
Or not Part 2, just Return of the Living Dead.
That's
because July 3rd and whatnot. Then
of course.
I watched Prom Night 2. I'm
Hello,
not
Mary
sure
Lou.
if I've ever seen that. I know I've seen 3.
It's fun.
More.
Okay.
Because I get them 2 mixed up.
All right.
Prom Night 2, I liked it. I think I like Part 3 better.
Really?
Let's see. Meat Hook, subtitle movies. Number 1, I'm going to go Inside.
Oh, yeah.
Number 2, I'm going to go The Sadness.
Of course.
And number 3, I'm going to go Battle Royale.
Oh, okay.
And I actually prefer subtitles to the dubbing. The dubbing just gets on my nerves.
I get that.
Terror Dome gives me Chucky
I figured
and Educating Mr. Darien. Are you
Who am I?
the Sentinel?
I am. You got it.
I hope everybody's doing good. Talk to y'all later.
I didn't think anybody was going to get the Sentinel. Thanks for calling in, Anal. Did I just call him Anal? That was stupid. I'm still sick, so you got to have to cut me some slack. Thanks for calling in, Alan. Sorry. I don't know why I called him Anal. That was rude. I didn't think anybody was going to get the Sentinel. Alan, you got it. Well done. What else here? 2 for Chucky coming right up. Looks like we are headed towards another blowout here, folks. I mean, is Norman Bates really that? No, he's not. No, I don't think he could. Maybe Ghostface he could beat, or maybe like a Jack Torrance type. I don't know. I don't know how that works. Right on, Alan. Yeah, dude, the Sentinel. Battle Royale. That's a good show. However, I'm going to recommend that you read the book if you have time, Alan. Watching the movie, there is a lot lost in translation, and a lot of things just don't make sense. That's just my opinion, though. Maybe they made sense to you. I don't know. Right on, Alan. Thanks for calling in. Let's get to the man of the hour. Here comes Tom motherfucking Hardy. Heyo.
Heyo, padded room. How's my favorite degenerates this week?
Last week not so good.
Doing well. Wanted to get in real quick. Got a couple of things I wanted to get with you.
Sure. What do you got?
Don't know who you are on the educating.
Oh, come on, man.
On the Terror Dome, Norman Bates and Chucky.
Yes.
I mean,
he's just a guy.
I'm going to go with Norman.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you why.
All right.
I've never been a fan of Chucky.
Me neither.
He's fine, whatever, but
okay.
He could never, scare me, and I really do feel that is the whole thing about him. Everybody, well, why don't you just kick the fucking thing down the stairs like the Puppet Master?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I agree.
And why don't you just kick the fucking thing down the stairs?
I agree.
So I think Norman, he's psychotic enough.
And he has a staircase.
Maybe start talking to it, thinking it's his friend, thinking
okay.
it's his mother. Then I don't know, maybe shoving it up his mother's ass. And
oh!
Thing. I don't, I got nothing more than
unruly.
I don't really care for Chucky.
Okay, that's fine.
Put me down for Norman Bates.
You got it.
On the, what are you looking at?
What do you got?
I did get to catch I've been watching with the family this thing on Netflix, this series called Student Spirits.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's Student Spirits. It's
School
like
Spirits, I think.
it's kind of a family-friendly, not too much of a horror movie. Short synopsis: a girl is murdered at the high school.
Okay.
And her ghost is still at the high school, and she can communicate with other ghosts and one of the living still, and they try and find out who killed her.
Oh. Very Nancy Drew.
For what I know about you guys, unless you're looking to watch something that you can watch with the kids, I'd say stay away from it.
Yeah, it sounds kind of boring.
My daughter found it, thought it'd be interesting, and I thought, well, at least it's somewhat horror that I can watch. But I also did get to catch, what's it called? The Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh.
But I actually caught it in the theater, the actual musical.
Oh, that's cool.
Again, if you're going to catch the musical, try and make it somewhat horror. You know, if you can't get to the Evil Dead musical, try and make it horror adjacent at least.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fine for what it is. Everybody knows about it, you know, but a lot more musical and a lot darker ending in the musical than the movie. Well, at least what I remember about the movie.
Okay.
In the musical, the plant gets basically clippings of it sent all over the world and takes over the fucking world.
Okay.
I don't think that was the end of the movie, but I haven't seen the fucking movie.
I think it depends which movie you watch.
I did want to get on to the meat hooks.
Yeah, what do you got?
Subtitles. Top 3 subtitles.
And GP'd. As he is wont to do, he did call back. He's not going to leave us on a cliffhanger with his meat hook. Let's see what he's got on the meat hook. G motherfucking peed, baby.
G motherfucking peed. Hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Anyway, I wanted to get in real quick on the subtitled flick. You know, I got 3 here for you.
Okay.
Let the right one in.
Oh, sure.
Great flick.
Yeah,
I don't know. It doesn't have a whole lot of rewatchability, even though it's super good.
Okay.
You got to be in the right headspace for it, I guess.
That's fair.
Number 2, put me down for Wreck.
Wreck is a good one.
Good one. And for number 1, I'm surprised it wasn't on your list, and I'm sure a bunch of people are calling in on it, is The Train to Busan.
Yeah,
Gotta be one of the best flicks. Great zombie flick.
Yeah.
It's just a great flick all around.
I agree.
Subtitles are not.
I agree with you.
There's one other thing I wanted to get into with you real quick, and that was the I found this article on the Hollywood Reporter.
Okay.
Talking about the best 10 slasher movies in the last 10 years.
Okay.
And I wanted to read this fucking list to you because
I'm intrigued.
I'm not saying it's obvious that they don't fucking know, man. Let me just read the list to you. Number 12, Sissy. Never heard of it, never seen it.
Not very good.
Number 11,
it's a comedy.
The Fear Street Trilogy, which I gotta say, I enjoyed. Think it should be a lot higher on the list, especially when you fucking hear what's coming up.
Okay.
Number 10, Terrifier 2.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever.
Is that a slasher, though? I don't know.
Flick, you know, sure, fine.
All right.
Number 9, Freaky. That was the one with, like, the Vincent Vaughn.
That's another comedy.
Whole fucking thing going on.
Yeah.
Number 8, Hellfest. Come on, man. That's a good one.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
Be in there. Number 7, Bodies.
We are up to 3 comedies.
Here's where it gets even worse, man. Number 6, The Strangers, Pray at Night. Gotta be honest, haven't seen that one. Haven't heard anything good about it. Number 5, The Ranger. Now, this flick I haven't seen, but I've heard nothing but good stuff about it.
Yeah.
So, from what I know about it, again, haven't seen it. Sounds like it's about where it should be.
Okay.
But, all right. The whole reason they were writing it is because this flick In a Nature came out, which they put at number 4.
Okay.
Looking forward to seeing that one.
Me too.
That's pretty damn good. All right. Now, here we go. Number 3.
Yeah.
Scream 6.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Number 2, this one here, you guys are going to love. Halloween Ends is the best slasher. Number 2, best slasher in the last 10 fucking years.
I just snapped a pencil in half.
Fuck out of here.
Fuck you.
And then number 1, X. Not really sure I'd call that a fucking slasher,
me neither.
But whatever. Just goes to show, people don't fucking get our shit. Man.
Exactly
anyway,
right, sir.
Love you like family. Bye now.
Love you too, Tom Hardy. The Hollywood Reporter. Okay, I mean, Hey, why don't you leave the horror reporting to the professionals over at the Corpse Cast? They seem to know what they're doing, not me. 3 comedies on there. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies wasn't that great, even as a comedy. Freaky was okay. I got some chuckles out of that one. What was the other one? The Scream 6. Halloween Ends. Go fuck yourself, man. Seriously. Did you actually watch those movies? Or did you just do a quick Google search and pick the ones that had like that were closest to the top or something? I don't know, man. No, go get fucked. Go fuck yourself. Not you, Tom Hardy. Thank you for calling in. I don't know why we're even talking about the Hollywood Reporter. They're not us. We are us. We know what defines a slasher. X, great movie. Is it a slasher? I don't think so. Most slashers don't involve one person getting killed by a giant alligator, another person getting killed with a shock. Now you got me all worked up, Tom Hardy. Anyway, I don't think X is a slasher. I had to take a cough break right there, but yeah, fuck off, Hollywood Reporter. That is all I have on the listener mail. Thank you very much, Tim, Alan, Tom Hardy. You guys are gentlemen and scholars. You know that. I'm going to stay away from all 3 of you because I don't want you to get the shit that I got. So there's that. Other than that, I think it's time to get into a movie.
And cut. Nice job, everybody. Good show.
Follow monitors, let me lead.
All right, everybody, here we go. 3, 2.
Time to go off script.
That was a very quick trailer. We are talking about The Cleansing Hour from 2019. Got 6 stars on IMDb, written and directed by Damien Levesque. Stars Ryan Guzman, Kyle Gallner, and Alex Angelis. Oh, Kyle Gallner in the house, everybody. You know what I think I'm going to do after we're done with this year? I think I'm going to do another year of, like, my favorite horror actors. And you rest fucking assured Kyle Gallner month will be probably January. Or, I don't know, maybe I'll build him up a little bit, get him into, like, Midsummer or something. Love me some Kyle Gallner, dude. What do we got? We got Haunting in Connecticut. You got Jennifer's Body. You got the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Yeah! Everybody freak right out. Go fuck yourselves. What else? What is that? Ghosts of War. That's not a very good movie, but he did well in it, I thought. Smile, he was just in. Heard he might be in the sequel that's coming out. Love me some Kyle Gallner, you motherfuckers. Fight me if you don't like it. I don't care. This is we're in Possession Month here in the Padded Room, so you know exactly where we're going. And you probably saw The Cleansing Hour by now. It's a pretty good show, dude. We start off in a full-on exorcism in progress. We got a guy strapped down to a chair. We got a very handsome, dashing Catholic priest, complete with beard and man bun. And he's like, speaking fluent Latin with the correct accent, I guess. I don't know. And he's, and the guy strapped to the chair is like freaking out and spasming and coughing up blood, and he looks like he's, on meth or something. And our young priest is like, "Demon, be gone!" And then the priest very quickly turns to the camera and he's like, "Thank you for joining me, my friends. Join me next week for another successful exorcism. Thank you for tuning in to The Cleansing Hour." So basically what we're looking at here, inmates, is a web series that revolves around this young exorcist, Father Max, who is a very handsome devil, no pun intended. I guess every week he brings some poor schmuck on here, and they give him an exorcism, and he beats the demon out of him, is what happens. So once they yell cut, though, then we realize that this is a stage set. The guy that was just exorcised was not possessed. It was all fake. There's like a special effects dude there, and he gets the contact lenses off the guy, and he gets him a towel and stuff, and oh, that was great. And then they look at their downloads, their streams, and they got like 50,000 subscribers. So they're like, yeah, great, okay, we're doing good. And this is where we find out that Max, Father Max, is not. I don't think he's at this point in the movie. I don't believe he's an actual Catholic priest, because he's like, okay, who's going to the bar with me? And but we meet his best friend Drew, played by Kyle Gallner, and Drew is like the web guy. He's the one that's directing this whole show, and he's the one that hired the special effects dude, a big fat guy named Tommy. Tommy introduces Drew and Max to his niece, a very attractive young lady named Riley. She's basically there as an intern. She's just going to kind of help out. She's way too hot, though, is the problem, and she acts accordingly, so she's like, yeah, that's pretty good times. We also meet Drew's fiance. Now, her name, I believe, is Sabrina. However, he calls her Lane, which I guess is her last name, I suppose. Weird that you would call your fiance by her last name, unless you're in the military, in which case I think it's mandatory. But very nice. You can tell right off the bat that Sabrina and Sabrina and Max do not get along at all. Because Max is like, come on, Drew, we're going to the bar. And she's like, you're not going to the bar with him. Oh, he's a piece of shit. Look at him. And Drew is like, oh, but he's my best friend. Oh, I don't know. So naturally, cut to the bar, a couple hours later. Drew's there. He's miserable. He hates being at the bar with Max. Their sound guy is with him. He's offering people pills, some kind of a druggie, I expect. His name's Chris. And this is where we find out that there are groupies attached to the cleansing hour. So a couple of attractive young ladies go up to Max after he's done singing karaoke. And they're like, oh, are you really a priest? Did you take your vows of celibacy? Oh! And they basically latch onto his honker. Fast forward to the next day. He's, of course, banged the shit out of one of them, while Drew and Lane are at their apartment sending out the merch and getting shipping orders together and things like that, working very diligently. Now, in the midst of this groupie banging, we get some dialogue from Max where he, probably full of shittedly, explains to his groupie friend that he was to be ordained. He is an ordained priest, ordained by the Catholic Church. However, he left the church when they refused to send him to exorcism school, I guess, or allow him to be an exorcist. So I guess like his lifelong ambition was to be an exorcist, and when they said no, he's like, all right, I'll figure it out on my own, and then he split, and now he's got a web series, and apparently a lot of chicks are buying into it because he just banged the shit out of one of them. So she's all hot and bothered now. She starts sucking his dick, and then at some point she looks up and he sees like the face of an old crone on her, giving him head. So he's like, oh shit, let's go get some breakfast, and he takes off running naked. Interesting. Don't know what that's all about, but we'll get into it as we go. Now, as the week goes on, they're setting up the next week's show. Max has somebody in mind. Apparently, they've been using like acting school people as their exorcist beneficiaries, the people that come in and get exorcised. But he would like to use his drag queen friend, whom he refers to only as Scarlett Von Cock. Interesting drag name, okay. Drew is like, no, I think we need to branch out. I think we need to do like seances and go to people's houses and things like that. And Max is like, no. Scarlet von Koch, I say. And I will not hear another word. Scarlet von Koch it is. So, reluctantly, Drew agrees. And you could tell, like, who's calling the shots here. Drew's doing all the work, but Max is the talent. And without the talent, the show's going to go away. But without all the work getting done, it's going to go away too. So Max kind of has Drew by the balls. And Drew doesn't know it, but he actually has Max by the balls also. Fuck. Sorry, another coughing break. Okay, so now we cut to the... they're set up for the next week's show. It's time to start recording. Scarlet von Koch is nowhere to be seen. Shit. Max is late, but he's always late, so they're expecting that. They're getting all the, the web stuff set up and the lights and the cameras and everything's going according to plan. Drew's getting nervous because he's now calling Scarlet von Koch and she's not answering, quote unquote, she. And then we cut to, quote unquote, her walking down the alley trying to find the address of the place. And she basically gets attacked by Alice Cooper from Prince of Darkness, because it's like a possessed homeless guy just jumps out of a garbage can. You can tell he's possessed because his eyes are all jacked off, so he jumps out and stabs him, her, and kills him, they, them. Excuse me. Anyway, no more Scarlet von Koch, my friends. I hate to tell you, there will be no Scarlet von Koch. So now we're getting nervous, and nobody knows that she is dead, so now they're like, shit, well, we're going live in like 14 minutes, what the hell are we going to do? And then Drew gets the bright idea, since Lane, his fiancée, is sitting right next to him. Hey, you took some acting classes, didn't you? And she's like, what? Oh, God, no. No, I'm not doing it. And he's like, come on. We've got 14 minutes. We got to do it. We'll set you up. We got our special effects guy here. It's going to be great. Still no Scarlet von Koch. So she's like, okay, but, when we get married, you got to take me on a very expensive honeymoon. So, okay. In comes Max. They get Lane strapped down to the chair. She's doing great. They start the show, and here comes Max. Welcome to the cleansing hour, my friends. We have a terrified young lady who is afflicted with an evil spirit. Tonight we will do battle, and I will drive it from her innocent body, and she will be saved by our Lord and Savior. She's like, oh. And now this thing is actually rather ingenious, the way they do it. She has an earpiece in. Drew is off camera, telling her what to do. Ooh, act funky. Act like you got an itch that you can't scratch. And she's like, oh, yeah, she goes down, like she slumps over in the chair. And then here comes Max, and he's like, spirit, be gone! And he dabs her with the holy water, but she doesn't move. So he's like, oh, God, she's being a bitch, and she's going to make this difficult because she hates me. So then he's like, perhaps a healthier dose of holy water will do the trick. So then he pops the whole thing, and he dumps that on her, and still no reaction. He's like, fuck. Now, while that's going on, the sound guy, Chris, the druggie, kind of passes out. He just drops everything and hits the deck. And when he gets up, he goes and vomits in the bathroom. Okay, that's not in the script, but Max does a pretty good job. Oh, the spirits of this afflicted young lady are manifesting, and they've taken control of my sound man, while Chris is vomiting in the bathroom. Bear with us, dear friends, as we experience technical difficulties because of this evil spirit. Okay. Chris in the bathroom vomiting is now getting like these horrific visions of himself with a molten lava face. And then like something jumps out of the mirror, so he stumbles backwards and knocks himself out. Okay. Chris is out of the equation here for a few minutes. Now, outside, Lane slowly raises her head, and she's like, ha, 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 ha. You're a fucking asshole, Maxie. And, from this point forward, she is legit possessed by a legit demon, which is pretty cool. I mean, as far as demons go, as far as possession movies go, this one is pretty good. So, this demon, we don't know. In order to gain control of the demon, we have to figure out its name so that we can exert power over it, I guess. And while all this is going on, we're going to cut to people all over the world watching the cleansing hour. What do we got? We got the groupies, the same ones that Max just banged. They're in a bar watching it on their phone, which is a very strange thing to do if you ask me, but I can't speak to that so much. I saw some really hot chicks playing Magic the Gathering in a bar once, completely oblivious to all the frat boys trying to hit on them, and they were actually pretty attractive as far as Magic the Gathering goes. You would expect them to be, Anyway, what else do we have? We have a couple of cops in South Korea watching it on their phones. We have some dudes trying to fix a moped somewhere in the Middle East. We have a kid, a very upscale kid. This kid is going to come into play later. He's like having dinner with his mom and dad, and they're in what appears to be some kind of a mansion, and, he's watching it on his tablet while they're eating. Interesting. So at this point, the demon looks over at the special effects guy, Tommy. He's like, Tommy, get over here. So Tommy goes walking up, and she's like, nice ink. Tommy's got like those douchey flames on his flame tattoos on his forearms, like he's got a dragon punch or something like that. Nice ink. Ever wonder what it feels like? And then Tommy just bursts into flames and staggers around for a bit. Everyone's going, oh, fucking shit. Holy cow, what are we doing? Okay, so now clearly we are dealing with an actual demon, and a powerful one at that, if she can just make a fat special effects guy burst into flames, right? Excuse me. So, that's pretty gnarly. Now Max is like, what the fucking fuck? So now the demon lays out its list of demands. Apparently the cleansing hour, the web show goes exactly 1 hour, so they have 1 hour to meet its demands, or they're going to get fucking... Basically, it's going to kill Lane, who it's inside right now. So the demon is like, you leave the set and Lane dies. Drew, you come on set and Lane dies. Anybody does anything I don't like, Lane dies. So now what, bitch? I mean, it doesn't... I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but... that's pretty gnarly. So like, oh, fuck. Okay, demon. Okay. So Tommy jumps right into... not Tommy. Max jumps right into... his Catholic priest spiel, starts reciting the Lord's Prayer and all that. It's not doing any good because he's not an actual priest, number one. Number two, he doesn't actually believe any of that shit either. So there's that also. She's like, oh, shut the fuck up, Tommy. And so, like, some of the scaffolding falls down around him, and so does the ceiling fan. And she's like, all these fucking... comments are scrolling through because people are like, live commenting on it. She's like, what's the what should I make him do? And Drew's like, oh god. And like, of course everybody's just suggesting the most evil, vile, sexual, disgusting stuff. So Drew is like, oh god, this is gross. Done that. No. So he picks the most innocent thing he can find, which is have Tommy strip, or have Max strip. I don't know why I keep calling him Tommy. Tommy's dead. So he's like, sorry, bud, this is the best thing I could do for you. You gotta take your clothes off. She's like, so he takes his clothes off. And then she makes him, like, some music starts coming through the speakers, and she makes him do the hokey pokey while, like, inserting his arm. You put your left arm in and your left arm out into the ceiling fan to get, whacked. Gnarly, kind of silly, and then some glass shatters, and he's got to walk on it, in his bare feet. That sucks, too. I'm sure it's painful, but you're going to live through the torture hokey pokey. You're going to have some scars, but I think you'll be okay. Now, here's the weird part. Apparently, the demon is giving them, like, rounds. Like, gives them a little break. So, after the torture hokey pokey, it's like, gives them a minute to take 5. And Max gets to go back and put his clothes back on. And Drew gets to, like, bandage up his hands where they hit the ceiling fan. That's a little weird, I thought. Doesn't make a lot of sense. So, okay. That's interesting. Now it's time for round 2, in which we're gonna. What Drew is trying. Okay, so Drew has built like a demon database called the Devil's Demon List or something like that, where he can like type in different things about the demon, and it'll narrow down the search fields until we get a name. So he's trying to get. Max is trying to keep the demon talking and learning more about it, so that we can figure out how to, like, narrow down the search a little bit. And, the demon is going on. It keeps calling Max Maxie, which is a thing. To be, okay. So my son Deacon, his best friend is a kid named Max. And I keep telling him, buddy, you got a good friend named Max, you have to call him Maxie Pad. I'm sorry. That's bro code. You have to refer to him as Maxie Pad. No, Daddy, no. Max is my friend, and I don't want to call him a girly thing. It's more of a term of endearment, really. Like when I was in high school, we used to call each other faggots all the time, and that was how I talked to my friends. Hey, faggot, what are you doing? I don't know. What are you doing, faggot? Hey, shut your fag hole, fucking... We don't talk like that anymore, okay? Obviously. But that's how bros talk to each other. You got to call him Maxie Pad. Okay, anyway. The demon keeps referring to Max as Maxie, which is unlocking some memories and some childhood trauma as we go. What we're going to, via some flashbacks, we're going to learn that Drew and Max went to Catholic school together. It was a borderline abusive situation. Some of the nuns were physical and less than forgiving in terms of, sins and the sinny stuff, not learning the things, the Bible things that they do in Catholic school. I don't know. To me, I think it's kind of hot. But all right, anyway. Oh, another cough break there. Sorry about that. Anyway, they're trying to narrow it down. Max is trying to keep the demon talking, trying to figure out more about what it is and what its name might be. Eventually, the demon, shouts, Bastuste at him. And luckily, Riley, the hot niece of Tommy, was there and she heard it. So she does a quick Google on Bastuste, and we find out that it's Mesopotamian. So now we can narrow down the search a little bit. That narrows down the search on the Devil's search engine to about 8 different possible demons. What do you think the first name on that demon list was? It was Payman. Remember Payman? Our old friend Payman from Hereditary? I don't know. I got a little kick out of that. I was like, Payman. Hope there's no telephone poles around here. Anyway, that's fun. So at this point, as the story goes on, we're going to keep checking in with all the people around the world watching this on their cell phones and stuff like that. Basically, they're all glued to their cell phones because they think they don't know it, but they are looking at an actual demon and a poor fucking college dropout who thinks he's going to exorcise him and his best friend. So there's that. Very interesting. At this point, Riley tries to make a run for it. She catches a crucifix to the back of the head. She's out of the equation. Unfortunate. She's very hot. At this point, past that, Chris, whom we thought was dead, wakes up in the bathroom. He's like, oh, shit. Right before that, though, the signal loses strength because now their subscribers is shooting through the roof. They started with about 50,000. They're already past the 2 million mark. So they're blowing right up. People are tuning in from all over the world. They don't have the bandwidth to accommodate that, so they crash, which forces Andrew to run into the bathroom, where apparently he's got the router mounted to a wall to restart the router. So he goes in there, he restarts it, and that's where he realizes that Chris is back awake. And Chris is like, I saw a demon. Oh, it was terrible. It had a bird body with a dog face and a snake tail. Oh. And Andrew's like, bird body, dog face, snake tail. Got it. Runs back outside to his little search thing, types in bird body, dog face, snake tail. Excellent. That narrows it down to about 3 or 4 different names. I believe payment had been eliminated at this point. But now Chris, still in the bathroom, is now being accosted by these demons. They look just like xenomorphs. They look like the dollar store version of xenomorphs. Actually kind of cute, I thought. They had like the big dome heads and like little chatty teeth, but they're a lot smaller. They're like Pomeranian xenomorphs from the dollar store. They're like, I'm going to get ya. Yeah. And Chris is freaking out, but he also is on a lot of pills, so he goes staggering back out into the set there, and he's like, oh, he's got a box cutter. Oh, get out of here, I'm going to cut you. You fucking demons, there's demons everywhere. Nobody sees him except for Chris. So he's like, everybody's like, dude, Chris, bro, you got to maintain. Now, at this point in the movie, we are down to possessed Lane, Sabrina, Max, Chris, and Drew. Drew is working feverishly to try to figure out what fucking demon this is so that Max can use its name and gain some power over it and, do the Lord's Prayer and get it the fuck out of there. That's the plan anyway. Chris is having a spaz attack. He's hallucinating these demons, or not, these Pomeranian xenomorph things. Max is like, he reverts back to a flashback of him and Drew in Catholic school. Something about the Lord's Prayer. He's like, okay, Chris, I got you, buddy. You have to pray with me. Come on. So they kneel down and they join hands and they say the Lord's Prayer. And then when Chris pops his eyes open, the demons are gone, which is great. And Max is like, okay, I just bought us some time. Everybody's got to pray. It's the power of prayer, bros. We all got to pray together to get this motherfucking demon out of this girl. She's my best friend's fiance. I don't particularly care for her, but he does, so let's try to make this happen. Chris is like, yeah, it worked. The demons are gone. But then possessed Lane, looks up and she's like, you can also never underestimate the power of denial. And then the dollar store Pomeranian xenomorphs all jump out of the various nooks and crannies and attack Chris, and he just starts slashing at himself with the box cutter, and everybody's like, dude, Chris, bro, what are you fucking doing? And then Max tries to restrain him, but he gets slashed with the box cutter, and Chris eventually ends up shoving it into his neck, and then that's the end of Chris, dude. We are up to our third kill of the movie. He was a bit of a loser. I don't think you need any kind of degree to be a sound guy. You just have to show up and be able to, hold a boom mic over your head for 35-minute increments. I think that's all there is to it, really. I don't know. Okay, well, that sucks. There's another dead body. The demon is laughing its damn fool head off. But now we've kind of narrowed it down a little bit more. The devil's search engine, and Drew was like, okay, I think I got it. We got to do this. And this is when the devil, or the demon, starts calling for Max's confession. He wants a full confession from Max. And Max is like, I'm a man of God. I have nothing to, I've already I've given my confession. And so the demon vomits up one of the merch rags things, whatever those neck towel things are that Catholic priests wear. I don't know what those are called. I feel like professional bowlers wear those too for their hands. I don't know. He vomits one of those things up, and then Max has to give the confession that the merch that they've been selling on their web store is not Vatican approved, does not have any healing properties, and is really just some shit that they bought from a factory in China, and they've been making a killing on the side. Okay, great. that's a good start, but that's not quite what we're looking for there, Maxie. So the demon kind of presses more. Give me your real confession. And then we get some more flashbacks as to what happened in Catholic school. Basically, what we find out is that Max was a bit of a fuck off, and Drew would always like help him cheat on tests and things until they got caught one day. And Drew, like the nun in charge couldn't figure out who the culprit was, so she made them kneel and like hit him with a yardstick, and then Drew recited the Lord's Prayer verbatim, and then it was Max's turn, and she did the same shit to him, and he couldn't do it. But Drew was trying to help Max cheat. He was like mouthing the words to him, and she caught Drew and started like smashing his face into the desk, and that's when Max freaked out and like pushed her over, and somehow she accidentally got a pencil to the eye socket, and it killed her. So Max and Drew just like hauled ass out of the Catholic school and took off, and apparently there was never any consequences for murdering the nun, which is great. I mean, it's not great. You shouldn't murder nuns, but good for them. At least they're not getting beat up or abused as children by the Catholic Church. So, yeah, he confesses to that. And he was like, I wasn't going to let my friend get hurt anymore. I did what I had to do. I stood up for my friend. And the demon is like, okay, good job, Max. Now you can be done. So it drops a noose down from the ceiling and a stool for Max to stand on. Like, okay, that was your confession, dude. You can go ahead and kill yourself, and you can be done with this without any sins. And he's like, okay, but the demon is like, but I'm not done hearing Drew's sins. So now Drew has to confess to some shit too. So Drew like hems and haws about it, and he's like, oh, fucking fuck, all right, I'll make my confession. He's been keeping 70% of the profits from the cleansing hour. Apparently, him and Max had an agreement. It was 50-50. Drew's been skimming a little bit off the top. He rationalized this by saying, well, I do all of the work. All you do is show up half drunk, unbutton the first two buttons on your shirt and, say some shit. You're just the talent, man. I'm the one burning calories back here. That's how I rationalized it. I should be making more than you. Max forgives him, and he's like, okay, but you're gonna have to pay me back. So there's that. He forgives him, and everything's cool for a second. And like the demon's like, oh, there's one more confession I need to hear, and then it kind of lets Sabrina re-inhabit her body for a second. Now at this point in the movie, luckily, because of all this back and forth, Andrew has managed to narrow down the name of the demon, so he thinks. The name of the demon is Amon, and it's like the 47th General Legion, commander of the 47th Legion of Hell or something like that. Very sneaky, slithery kind of a demon dude. I don't know. It's Amon, so he's trying to get the information to Max to do the proper exorcism using the demon's name. But he's having a hard time doing it. So he runs over to the computer. At this point, Lane's like, "Oh God, I don't know. I don't have anything to confess." And Max walks over and he's like, yeah, we do, Sabrina. We got one more thing to confess. So all the cords and the cables wrap around Drew, but he manages to grab his Google glasses and put them on. I don't know if these are actually Google glasses. It's some kind of a set of bifocals with like a heads-up display, whatever those are called. He puts them on right before he gets wrapped up in the cords. And it drags him over to Max and Sabrina, and that's where we have to hear the confession of Sabrina that she at one point a long time ago had sex with Max. And there it is. I kind of knew that was coming, because there's no reason for the best friend's girl to be that hostile towards you unless you banged her at one point. I'm sorry. I mean, it seemed pretty straightforward to me. So Drew's all pissed off. The cord's kind of loosen around him. He gets up and he starts punching Max in the face. this is where we find out that Max actually videoed the above-mentioned bang session with him and Sabrina, and it's still on his fucking phone, and it's now being broadcast via the live link, and everybody's watching Max bang Sabrina on the feed, and she clearly wants it, so there's that. So Drew is now on top of Max, pummeling him, and they're going back and forth, and at one point he's like, push the button on my glasses. So Max reaches up and pushes the button on his glasses and gets the glasses on Max, and that gives him the information he needs to dispel the demon. So he gets up and he's like, Amon, you will be out of this, girl. And then Amon starts freaking out inside of Sabrina. And then there's like a big windstorm inside the studio, and everybody all over the world is watching going, oh, fucking shit, it's a demon. And then like Sabrina screams, and she's like, no, you don't know what you're doing. And then basically everything goes quiet. They break Sabrina out of the restraints, and she's not conscious, but she's going back and forth. She's like, oh, God, what? I don't remember what happened. And they were like, hey, you told us not to let Amon go. Why did you tell us that? I don't know. What is the feed still up? And they're like, yeah. Oh, my God, you got to shut the feed down. Shut the feed down. At that point, the charred remains of Tommy reanimate, get up, and like stand up and start walking around. They go back towards Max and Drew and like melt out, and here comes like the big devil horned fucking thing. It looks like Tim Curry from Labyrinth, but only if his skin was like molten rock or something. It looks very heavy metal, dude. And they look up at the monitor. There's like 15 million viewers, including all the people that I already mentioned. He's like, ho, 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 ho. You thought you expelled me, but you made some mistakes. Like, what the hell? First off, my name's not Amon. Second off, it was my list that you were looking at. And then Drew remembers, he named his search engine the Devil's List. So he's like, oh, fuck, you're the actual devil. And then he picks up the like all the internet cords, and he takes a bite out of them. And then like the feed goes dead. And then all the people all over the world get possessed eyeballs. And then they all just freak out and start stabbing each other. It's great. And that's pretty much the end of your movie, inmates. What do you say? What do you say to that? There it is, inmates. The Cleansing Hour. Good show, dude. Good show. It's an interesting new take on an old, trope, which is the exorcism, and the way the demon plays with the exorcist. I like it. I like the update, I guess, the technological, the way it's adapted for social media, I guess is what I'm looking for. It's good. It's streaming on Shudder right now. If anybody's interested, let me know if you need my password. In the meantime, I'm going to take myself a little break here, inmates. I got to get some water. And I'll be right back with some other stuff.
Hey inmates, if you like what you hear, head over to the Padded Room Facebook group and support us through the Patreon link with a small monthly donation. Check out the T-Villain link at paddedroom.podbean.com and grab some t-shirts. Thanks for listening and enjoy the rest of the show.
And I am back, ladies and gentlemen. I had a drink of water. I think I sound a little bit better. I don't know. You tell me. Do I sound any better? It's the continuous talking for an hour and 13 minutes. It's taxing on a guy's voice, especially when I'm, already pretty rough to begin with. Anyway, I think it's time for a meat hook.
Three on a meat hook.
This week's meat hook, top 3 Southern horror movies. Okay, so I wrote this last week when I was supposed to do The Last Exorcism. Clearly that didn't happen, so I'm just rolling it right into this week. Top 3 Southern horror movies. I'll start it off. Number 3, I think, is the obvious choice. Probably going to be number 1 for a lot of people. Angel Heart. Takes place in Louisiana. 1940s, if I'm not mistaken. Great show. Mickey Rourke, Lisa Bonet, Robert De Niro for a second or two. Dude, don't make a deal with the devil. Apparently, if you do, you immediately completely forget about it, which is kind of a weird thing. But it's not the deal with the devil that is a turn on for me about this movie. It's the 1940s Louisiana rural voodoo, the plantations, the funky, hot, just you know what I mean? I don't even know how to describe that. It just makes you feel dirty. But at the same time, you feel like you'd probably be having fun. So there's that. Great show. I don't want to ruin it for you. I think we did do a full episode on that one a while back. Check it out. Number 2 is a movie that we also did an episode on. It's actually a movie that we did our first episode on. Little film by the name of Dead Birds. I don't know if you guys have seen this one. You have a Civil War bank robbery gone awry. You've got Michael Shannon. What's his name there? From the Henry Thomas, Nicky Acox. A bank robbery goes wrong. The robbers try to hold up in a dilapidated plantation. Naturally, there's some shit in the cornfields and in the abandoned plantation house. Great show. One of my favorites. Probably not of all time. I don't know. It was actually written by Simon Barrett. I don't know why that hasn't been revisited. It's from, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's from like 2002. Could easily have a sequel or a remake. I don't know. Great show. Only watching it now, the only regrets I have about it is that there is some wacky CGI in it, and that kind of sucks. And a couple of the characters get killed in some very silly ways. Like one of them just kind of explodes into dust. I don't, that's kind of lazy, if you ask me. I don't know, but whatever. Other than that, it's a great show. My number 1 is not only a good horror movie, it's a good all-around movie. It's almost more of like a psychological crime drama, I guess, is something you could call it. It's a little film called What Josiah Saw. I believe it's presently streaming on Shudder. We've talked about it before. I don't think we did the full rundown on it, but wow, is that a good show. Not just with like the horror elements, but like the twists and the turns. And like the way, you think certain characters are going in certain directions, and you find out the whole time they were going in that direction, but that direction doesn't lead where you expected it to go. So there's that. And then we bring it back to their childhoods and we find, oh, fucking, it's definitely got the Southern Gothic element to it. The family, the creepy Southern Jason Harrell-esque family, if you understand what I'm saying. If you understand where I'm going with that, and I think you do, Jason Harrell, there's that element to it. It's, just a thing. Yeah, great movie. And not just on the horror scale, all around. Nick Stahl, Jake Weber, I think that's about it as far as recognizable names in that one. But really good show. Check that out. I think that one is streaming on Shudder as we speak. That is your meat hook for the weekend, mates. It's top 3 Southern horror films. Alan, Mr. Easterling, I am desperate to hear your top 3 Southern horror movies. I feel like you should have some insight on the topic. Consider that. Let me know. Area code 775-387-0275. Or go to paddedroompodcast.com, hit the mail link, and drop it on me that way. I don't care. I'll read it next week for sure, or we can listen to it together. In the meantime, it is Terradome time.
No tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
I'm not gonna hurt you. You didn't let me finish my sentence. I said, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains in. I'm gonna bash them right the fuck in. I'll kill you all. I'll drive you crazy. I'll kill you all. My worst dream come true.
6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face. The blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
Welcome to the Terradome.
First, last week's, or I guess 2 weeks ago's winner, we had Chucky versus Norman Bates. Footsteps coming from upstairs. Norman thought it was Mother at first, but then, in a rare moment of clarity, he remembered. Mother wasn't walking. Mother wasn't breathing. Mother was dead, and there was someone in his house. He raced up the stairs, only to get grabbed by unseen hands at the top. As he tumbled backward, he caught the peculiar sight of the abandoned doll peering back at him, almost sardonically, laughing at him before his neck broke. With a vote of 5-2, Chucky advances over Norman Bates. Had a feeling that was how that was going to go. Not a lot of love for Norman in the Terradome. He's just a guy. He's a thing, man. You got Jason Voorhees running around. You got the Creeper. You got Pyramid Head. You dress up like your mom and stab chicks in the shower. Creepy, sure, but what are you going to do against a fucking flying, axe-wielding, possible pedophile? Not a lot there, Norm. Sorry. All right, anyway, moving on. Let's take a look at this week's matchup, shall we? We are in the Inferno Conference Round 5. As usual, inmates, bear with me. I am not a writer. The funeral procession rolled on. The Northwest had dried up. Small towns were left desolate in the tall man's wake as his army grew. Not quite ready to sack a major city, but large enough to push south. The rural, desertous landscape of South Texas would be the next seizure. Plenty of small farming communities dating back generations. Plenty of cemeteries packed with the bodies of the bloodlines. But upon arrival, the tall man finds a large and growing number of the cemeteries defiled. Graves torn open, bodies ransacked, and in certain cases, missing anatomy. He assumes this is a sign of disrespect. Someone knows that he's here and why. The grisly works of art left as an insult. In truth, there is no rhyme or reason to what the Sawyers do, only a hunt for nourishment and the practice of the saw. Singles competition, we have the Tall Man versus Leatherface. I am tempted to go with Leatherface on this one, and I'll tell you why. I think a lot of what the Tall Man has going for him is the installment of fear. If you're scared of him, he already has the win, pretty much. But Leatherface is basically a vegetable with a chainsaw. I don't know that he's capable of fear. Well, I guess if you think about it, though, like when Drayton pulls out the broomstick, he kind of backs off. Now that I think about it, I think I just punched a hole in that argument. I got to go with the Tall Man on this one, dude. And that is your Terror Dome matchup for the weekend, mates. It's the Tall Man versus Leatherface. Again, area code 775-387-0275. Or just go to paddedroompodcast.com, hit the Terror Dome link, and let me know who you think would win that fight. In the meantime, it's time for me to tell you what I got to watch over the last 2 weeks.
What are you looking at?
Hey, how about the last exorcism that I was supposed to do for last week's show, but got too sick to do it? It's a good show. It's from 2010, executive produced by Eli Roth. Found footage, exorcism. You probably forgot that Jacob Landry Jones is in it as that sideways little brother of hers, right? The only gripe I have about this is Ashley Bell. She goes way too hard into the sweet and innocent routine, and it becomes a little annoying and a bit transparent, I think, towards the end. I don't know if they were trying to do like some kind of a contrast with the demon and how cutesy-tootsy she is in normal life, but it got a little annoying to me. That's just me. Other than that, it's a good show. That was what kind of inspired the Southern Horror Meat Hook. After that, I got real sick and laid in bed for a full day and watched nothing but Joe Bob's Last Drive-In with Darcy the Mail Girl. Those titles included Dead and Buried from 1981. Great show. I think it holds up. Special effects are a little wacky, but the storyline altogether, and you get to see Lisa Blunt's boobs for a couple seconds. Robert Englund in there for a minute or two. Dreary Seascape, Little Town, Dark Secret. Sheriff thinks he's going to figure the whole thing out. Ending's a little wacky when you get the big reveal. Madman from also from 1981. This one's not very good. This was clearly a cash grab that came on the heels of Friday the 13th and The Burning, except it's not as good as either one of them. The killer looks dumb as shit. He looks like one of those troll dolls if he had like a puppy dog nose in this one. Not a fan. And also, like, the only redeeming quality of this movie is that Galen Ross is in it, and you get to see her boobs for a second or two. But like the crux of the actors that they got to play the camp counselors, it's your standard slasher in the woods scenario. All of the actors that they, with the exception of Galen Ross, that they got to play the camp counselors, came out of like theater school and were used to doing Shakespeare. So overacting their fucking asses off from the jump really killed the movie for me. Not that good. Zombie from 1979, the Lucio Fulci classic. We've all seen it. It's good. It's still good. You have to be in the mood for a Lucio Fulci movie, and you got to just write a lot of things off because there's going to be a lot of plot holes. Movie's going to look good. It's going to be a lot of fun, film score to it, but not going to make a lot of sense. Have you seen The Beyond? That movie doesn't make a lick of sense no matter how many times you watch it. What else? Day of the Dead from 1985. George Romero classic. Now, up till now, I would tell you that I didn't care for Day of the Dead from 1985. Watching it with 102-degree temperature and pumped to the gills with Dayquil. I actually really enjoyed it. You know, it's Romero. You're going to get a lot of political posturing and messaging, a lot of subtext about the military-industrial complex. But if you can kind of turn that part of your brain off and just watch it for what it is, which is some ridiculous fucking characters acting ridiculously in an even more ridiculous situation, it's actually kind of fun, you know? It is what it's probably still my least favorite out of the original Dead trilogy. I would go Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead. Don't get me started on the rest, because we're going to pretend they don't matter. But I actually really enjoyed it, watching it this time. Lastly, I caught Lisa Frankenstein from 2024. This is the latest from Diablo Cody, who also brought us Jennifer's Body, The United States of Terra, Juno, and that's the only stuff that's coming to mind. It's good. I would say it's good. It's a horror comedy, 85% comedy, 10% horror. You get plenty of that snarky teenage sarcasm that you knew and loved from Jennifer's Body. I don't think I like it as much as Jennifer's Body, but I do like it more than Juno and United States Terra. So I had fun. I enjoyed it. I'm not mad at it at all. I'd show it to the kids. It was quirky and fun. I got some chuckles. And that's it. That's all I'm looking at, inmates. How about some immersion therapy then?
Immersion therapy.
So, what'd you think of the first Omen? It's good. I liked it. I'm not a big Omen guy, though. You know, I'm not like one of the Omen franchise purists that's going to nitpick this and talk about, you know, the timeline and what the years should have been, and his father was supposed to be a jackal, and that was never addressed. I don't care, really. It's fine. Yeah, all in all, I thought it was a good show. I posted on Facebook that I like Pet Sematary Bloodlines better than The Omen. I'm going to stand on that. I'm going to stand. I agree. I agree with myself on that one. It's still a good show. It didn't really make me want to revisit the original Omen or the second. I think the final conflict, I think that was the best one. That was the one where he was a senator and he has anal sex with a nun and convinces that lady to take an iron to her baby, because sure, that's a great idea. There is a fourth Omen that was made for TV, and it involved Damien's little sister, who apparently we never knew he had a little sister, but now I think her name was Daniela. It's terrible. Don't even bother with that shit. It's fine. It's a good show. What is your immersion therapy for this week, you ask? Your immersion therapy is going to be Blood from 2021. Directed by Brad Anderson, starring Michelle Monaghan and Skeet Ulrich. Find this bad guy on Hulu, inmates. Check that shit out. We'll do the same, and we can compare notes next week. But now it's time to educate me.
Educating Miss Monica.
First, my clues from last week. Well, I am a top New York model, and I just, me and my photographer boyfriend just got a apartment in a very upscale neighborhood. Weird, though, the lady at the top in the penthouse, the old blind lady, just stares out the window all day, and I got a bunch of nutsack neighbors that like to masturbate in front of me. Turns out the old lady up in the penthouse is doing a very important job, and she's considering me as her replacement. I am, of course, the Sentinel. Alan got me. Alan's the only one that got me. You would be surprised how many A-list celebrities are in that movie. You got Beverly D'Angelo, finger blasting herself, Burgess Meredith, Jeff Goldblum is in it for a few seconds, Christopher Walken, a couple other ones. But these are all like before they were in their big time. You know what I'm saying? What a weird movie that is too, right? Her dead dad running around in diapers trying to bang big fat chicks with food on them. Oh, gross. That's gross. Gross me out. Right on, inmates. Who might I be this week, you ask? Well, I am a troubled youth in the, I believe, late 1950s. And I blame it mostly on my upbringing. See, I am the youngest in a, not necessarily a crime family, but a family of real ne'er-do-wells. And I'm pretty smart, actually, and I'm articulate, and but I have to keep bailing my family members out of trouble, which in turn gets me in trouble. And now I'm stuck in this kind of like a youth internment camp, where I guess it's kind of like a juvenile hall type of thing. Luckily, me and 4 or 5 of my friends are going to break out of here and go running across the state that we live in, being pursued by law enforcement, trying to get back to my weirdo, disgusting crime family so that they can hide us for a while. Most of my friends are going to get killed on the way, and I'm going to develop some serious mental problems along the way also. I sure hope I don't grow up to be a very prolific slasher slash power tool wielder, and I might end up working at a industrial plant. I can't really. I'm trying to give you clues without giving too much away here, inmates. That's about as far as I can go. Maybe you get me, maybe you don't. Either way, tune in next week and I will drop some knowledge on you. Hopefully my voice sounds better next week. Join me next week for Evil Dead Rise here in the Padded Room Possession Month. I think you're going to love that one. Like, comment, subscribe wherever you found this show. That helps the visibility quite a bit. We do have a Patreon campaign running. Just go to paddedroompodcast.com. You'll find everything you need there. In the meantime, for Buddy in Absentia, my voice in Absentia, my son Deacon, who got rave reviews, thank you very much for all your kind words. I showed all of your comments to him. He got a real kick out of that. So thank you very much for that. And the Padded Room Podcast, I'm afraid visiting hours are over.